Hello and welcome to episode number 11 of Blueprint, our video blog and podcast for responsible manufacturing. My name is Björn and I'm driving the sustainability agenda at EOS. Today we're in Belgium. We're here at the headquarters of Materialise in Leuven, and this gives us the opportunity to meet Tibo Uyttersprot, from Materialise. And today we will talk about Materialise's approach to sustainability, why supplier evaluation is critical for them, what the Leading Minds initiative is all about, and why Materialise chooses to switch to the EOS responsible products. So Tibo, welcome to Blueprint. It's a pleasure to be here and thank you for hosting us. Before we dive into the questions and topics, may I ask you to shortly introduce Materialise, yourself, and what drives your passion for sustainability?
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. And welcome here, Björn, at Materialise. Materialise is a company and we're focusing on 3D printing, obviously, and its wide variety of applications. We have a medical business unit, a manufacturing business unit, and a software business unit. I myself, I've always been very interested in the intersection between sustainability on the one hand and technology on the other hand. I have a background in public health and sustainability, and I joined Materialise to really drive change into additive manufacturing and its industry. My job at Materialise is focusing on entrenching sustainability inside the business model and to make sure that we make the right decisions, not only for our customers, but also for the planet and for the people on this planet.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And I'm really happy to have you at Blueprint. To start off, what are your thoughts? How sustainable is 3D printing really?
Yeah, so it's not just about how sustainable 3D printing and additive manufacturing is, but it's also about how we can make it more sustainable and how we can use it to enable the right applications. So at Materialise, we approach sustainability from 3 particular avenues. First, we try to focus on creating applications with a positive impact. For example, in healthcare, personalized applications. Also in aerospace, energy efficient applications. That's one important asset. On the second, we look at how we can help our customers become more sustainable, for example, through our software, which helps optimize processes. It reduces support structures that are needed, it reduces inefficiencies, and therefore it can help additive manufacturing become more resource efficient. And the third is about ourselves, becoming more sustainable in our operations. We are really committed to that, and our emphasis is really on the one hand, using those responsible materials, as you're mentioning, but also it's a lot about transparency in our sector. We really have to drive that forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very interesting. I would like to dive deeper a little bit on the applications you said for your customers. Do you have any proof points or case studies with regards to sustainability and additive manufacturing there?
Yeah, sure. We have a couple. For example, reimagining the eyewear industry by first-time right design or lightwear frames. With our end-to-end solutions, we really make it possible to customize in the software directly. And also production on demand is a huge asset. If you only produce what's needed, you don't have to transport what you don't need to produce, you don't have to store it. And also at the end of life, it doesn't have to go wasted. In healthcare, there's also a couple of really interesting applications. For example, personalized or patient-specific implants, patient-specific surgical guides. They don't only reduce waste, but they also optimize the patient outcomes. And then last, beyond all this, there's another really interesting application of helping our customers become more sustainable. We once had an interesting case of a company that came to us with a design for helping large industrial applications decarbonize, but it was very difficult to actually implement this design. And we see that oftentimes traditional manufacturing falls a little bit short of helping implement these innovations. And that's actually where 3D printing comes in. It helps make the impossible possible, and it really can empower these sustainable applications.
That's very interesting. You also mentioned that you're working on sustainability yourself as a company, and I went through your sustainability report. You have a science-based target as well. Can you explain to our audience what is a science-based target, what's the organization behind it, and then what are your targets?
The Science Based Targets Initiative, or the SBTI, is an organization that helps companies set clear and measurable goals to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions. Through the Science Based Targets Initiative, you're sure that your goals are always aligned with the latest climate science, which is to limit global warming to well below 2 or 1.5 degrees Celsius.
And you have set yourself targets as well?
Yes,
in this
we do
regard?
have a near-term science-based target of reducing our emissions with 55% by 2029, scope 1, 2 and 3, compared to a 2019 base year. And recently we added another target, which is to become climate neutral by 2030.
Okay, that sounds really ambitious, I have to say. So congratulations on the new target as well. It sounds like sustainability is really embedded in the DNA of Materialise. Can you share a bit more about the broader approach? What's the driving force behind it? Why are you doing this? What are challenges? What are opportunities maybe as well?
So the CSRD, or the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, really provided a guideline for us to better entrench sustainability in our company. They made us start with a double materiality assessment, which looks on the one hand at financial materiality and on the other hand at impact materiality. With the impact materiality, we had to investigate how our company has a positive or negative impact on people, environment, or society as a whole. Next to that, we also had to look at financial materiality, which is how people, society, environment can positively or negatively affect the finances of our company. And these insights really provided us a starting point to further work on sustainability. The CSRD, the double materiality assessment at Materialise, it offered us insight in 31 topics that were deemed relevant, spanning across environment, social and governance aspect, and it helped us to really sharpen our focus for the future. So now we know that we have to work harder on resource efficiency, renewable energy throughout the value chain, and we have to work on low impact materials, but it's also about empowering our people, it's about delighting our customer, and it's really about making partnerships to become stronger together.
And you said that you include scope 3 in your targets, which means the value chain upwards and downwards. So what is the role of suppliers? What role do suppliers play in that game in achieving a more transparency and a more sustainable business?
Yeah, for us it's very clear. We know from our carbon footprint that our scope 3 emissions are more than 80% of our total emissions. So we will never be able to achieve our ambitions without engaging our suppliers. And we do think that sustainability should be a shared goal. So that's why we also prioritize to work with suppliers that have these goals with us. And what we're seeing more and more now as well is that our customers are starting to engage their suppliers, which is basically us, and they're asking us the same questions as that we are asking our suppliers. So this clearly illustrates to us that transparency is becoming more and more important. And for example, that's why we think that these partnerships with EOS, they are really interesting, because if we create transparency, we create a ripple effect of other companies within our industry that are being pushed to be more transparent as well. And in the long term, we also think that this will help companies become more sustainable. First, it's about transparency, about sharing information, and then you can act upon that and you can use the right levers to become more sustainable.
So what I hear is that supplier evaluation is critical for Materialise. So how do you engage with your suppliers then?
Yeah, so this year we actually integrated sustainability aspects into our yearly supplier monitoring. We now focus on our key suppliers with strategic focus, so it's mostly our raw material suppliers. What we did is we set forth some criteria on environment, social and governance to look at how do suppliers perform when it comes to sustainability, and we really look at those aspects that are most critical for us to reach our ambitions. For example, on environmental topics, we look at whether the supplier uses renewable energy, whether they publish CO2 data, whether they have net zero emission targets, if they have ISO 14001 certifications. Social criteria are also very important. We're looking, for example, what are the risks when it comes to labor rights for this supplier. We're also investigating, okay, does the supplier have diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives? Do they have health and well-being programs for their employees? Because it's also critical. When it comes to governance, we're looking at, okay, are there supplier codes of conduct in place? Is the supplier transparent about all its sustainability data, not only CO2, but all the data? And this is really critical for us because it helps us mitigate our risks. It also helps us become more sustainable, and it helps us to make sure that everything is being done in an ethical way.
So supplier engagement is critical. We're one of your suppliers, happy suppliers of you. And Materialise decided to switch parts of the polymer materials to the responsible products. Can you share a little bit what are the benefits, or why did you do that, and what are the benefits for you and maybe also for your customers then?
Mm-hmm. The data was very compelling to us, and especially the life cycle analysis that was performed, it illustrated us clearly that the impact of these powders was lower than the conventional ones. And for us, when we can achieve our sustainability ambitions while also offering our customers the same high quality materials that they need, it's a no-brainer and we have to go for it.
So, as you said, collaboration in the supply chain is key, and sustainability is a shared responsibility. Can you elaborate how can partnerships help to drive the sustainability acceleration?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, partnerships are very important because everybody in sustainability knows that you cannot tackle sustainability alone. You really have to co-create and co-design these solutions. And when we look at the ecosystem, we know that collaborating with our suppliers is very important, for example, to get more sustainable and low impact raw materials in. Collaborating with our customers is also very important because if you implement sustainability from the design phase, you can maximize the potential of sustainability by design. But beyond that, we also have to collaborate with the entire ecosystem because we have to pool our resources, because some topics are very difficult to handle in one-on-one partnerships or by companies alone. Look at end-of-life recycling. You have to have multiple companies collaborating on this to have a positive impact. And what partnerships are so interesting about is that it creates a shared accountability. So each party is accountable for their choices and can help progress everything. And that really can help drive sustainability forward and moving in the right direction.
So talking about collaboration, Materialise has initiated the Leading Minds initiative or program. Can you share a little bit about its purpose and impact?
Yeah, so Leading Minds is all about knowledge sharing and industry collaboration. What we did there is we brought together experts from additive manufacturing to collaborate and look at how they can overcome the barriers that we're facing in the adoption of 3D printing and how we can enable customers and other companies to integrate 3D printing and scale it as efficiently and as productively as possible. And it doesn't only look at, for example, financial considerations, but it also looks at transparency. It looks at, for example, how we can be more proactive when it comes to sustainability. And this is really where the key value is. So collaborating, partnering up together, it can help drive these efforts forward.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Materialise is well known for your medical applications as well. Can you share how the work you're doing with the surgeons, for example, exemplifies responsible manufacturing?
Yeah, so the medical industry is very interesting, but it's also very important to realize that many lives and the well-being of many people is depending on it. So we also recognize the responsibility that comes with that. With our expertise in 3D printing on the one hand and personalized solution on the other hand, we try to get the treatment right the first time. We try to expand patients' options. We try to improve the patient outcomes, and we also work to make our solutions more accessible to everybody. Look, for example, at our AMACE, our hip implant. That really helps with sustainability as well because it provides a sustainable solution to patients that might have had multiple revisions already. Another great example is our personalized surgical guides, where surgeries can be performed with greater precision and greater accuracy, which reduces the revisions and it reduces the operating time. And on the other hand, it also helps improve the patient outcomes.
So very important for the patients, the work you're doing together with your customers there. We're coming to the last question already, and that always is, what is your vision for additive manufacturing and sustainability within the next 5 years, let's say?
Yeah, so we really want sustainability and additive manufacturing to go hand in hand. We want to put sustainability on the forefront, that we can reduce the impacts of additive manufacturing, but we also want to enable these right applications to drive sustainability forward. And when we work like that, we really believe that we can work towards a better and healthier world together.
Thank you so much, Tibo. We're looking forward to continue working together with you. And yeah, thank you for your time. Thank you for hosting us here in Leuven. And we have a little present for you as well. First of all, of course, our hummingbird.
Thank you very much.
And then the t-shirt.
Great.
Also with a hummingbird.
Thank you so much.